I was going to go into UFC 296. The main things coming up on Saturday night. First of all, you saw some of this press conference, and I watched this press conference on Thursday where Colby Covington was so cringeworthy and just absolutely just abhorrent in terms of his building up of this fight with Leon Edwards. Today I was talking to Wei, and I brought this up, and Wei was like, oh, I saw the comment. And afterwards I was like, which one? Because there's literally 3 on this one that were all atrocious, but one that was just above and beyond all of them, where he invoked Leon Edwards' father, who was murdered when Leon Edwards was 13 years old. Listen, there are people that will just, they love any of this kind of trash talk. There is no line, but it's just, I'm sorry. And then tonight they did another press conference to build up all their cards for next year. And you've got Sean Strickland up there dropping the F word. And I'm not talking about the traditional F word, the F word I'm not going to state here. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, there was a time in professional wrestling that I would be absolutely mortified if, like, my parents walked in and this was on television. Like, I was genuinely embarrassed about some of what I was watching. And that's never been the case in my life of MMA. Like, people don't like the violence. They don't like certain aspects of MMA. And that to me is something I'm more than willing to defend why I enjoy this. This kind of shit from the UFC, I would be mortified if, like, I was watching this and my wife came in, and it's like this culture that has permeated itself. It's just more and more. And hearing this stuff just uttered, so, like, we had in these 2 press conferences, a guy making light and making jokes about a guy being a pedophile, about his dead father, about I'm going to beat you worse than your father did when you were a kid. And then Sean Strickland dropping, like, the F word, and then doing it again moments later. Like, not even like he caught himself and felt like, oh boy, I shouldn't have said that. Like, it was just, I don't know, man. Maybe I just sound old, but it's like, this is so bottom barrel that I don't know. If you get entertainment out of this, I definitely question your taste.
Well, I mean, when I saw it, I think these clips, I mean, the first thing that really came to mind was Jerry Springer. You know, it's not all that
That's
different.
what these press conferences are. Like, they're a total circus sideshow that I don't even know if I'd want to participate in, to be quite honest. Like,
At the same time,
for media. They're there to just be, it's a clown show to sell the pay-per-view. And granted, there's fans that love this shit, but it's totally.
So that's but John, isn't that the bottom line? You know, and isn't that the sort of kind of sad state of what combat sports has kind of like fostered? We talked a lot about this on the Ultimate Fighter discussion on Rewind Away, with the show essentially being written around Chris Lieben and the dude who pees on, you know, his roommate's bed as almost just kind of like, you know, a form of bullying. And the fight game tends to reward this sort of behavior, right? So at the same time as I saw a lot of these clips, I saw a lot of outrage. I also saw a lot of people commenting that they're suddenly interested in seeing this guy get beaten up. We're talking about it right now, so I wasn't even aware of the fight prior to this. Ultimately, how much punishment is anybody going to get when, you know,
that's it. Like, there's none. There's not going to be any punishment for this. I'm not even advocating that, like, guy, but there is like a certain, for whatever audience I think you turn on to this, I think over time there's also an audience you turn off from this. And I do feel that, like, over time that there is a vibe of the MMA culture that I think really does, like, shun a certain part of the audience as well, of how it has shifted, and that comes from the top down. Like, for instance, like, this is somewhat connected. In other words, not. I talked about the World MMA Awards, and those were on Thursday night. And these awards, they're voted on by the fans. And one of the categories is leading man of the year. And it's pretty much the person who's the front-facing figure of a given promotion. And this year of all years, like, Dana White is voted the leading man of the year. I was like, this man started off his year with a video slapping his wife on camera. And, like, we've talked about it, like, he has more than just completely distanced himself from this. But I mean, he wins a fan vote. Like, this is our leading man. And I
Well,
think
even after this press conference, you heard people chanting for Colby right afterwards.
dude, they were chanting USA after he made the father joke. Like, it's again, I'm not denying that there's an audience for this. I'm definitely not it. But yeah, I'm sure that there are people that agree and also disagree with me.
It's a beautiful, beautiful sport, but I don't really myself ever find that I want to be associated with, you know, a lot of the sort of audience, and that's it's not fair to be able to blanket MMA fans as this one thing, but
no, but there is a section of them that are
right,
like,
but it's a product that caters directly to them, and I think, you know, is making money off of them. So again, it's awful. Some of the things that I think are being said in the name of fight promotion. But at the same time, I don't see like Dana White probably, you know, being too upset about it, especially when
he's the opposite. Like, he is. I am the guy that is not going to censor. Like, that is the part of the UFC culture of absolutely.